Very good afternoon to all of you. So, as you know, I have completed this the first chapter, the Revolt of 1857, in my earlier videos, and today I am making notes from this second chapter, which is known as Civil Rebellions and Tribal Uprising, which is very famous. So, I am making notes as well. As you know, these chapters and the lines of this particular chapter and this entire book will be helpful in the state PCS and UPSC CSC. So I am also an UPSC aspirant and I am making notes. So I am sharing with all of you how to make notes from this particular chapter. As you can see, I have scanned the book and here I am sharing my screen. So without wasting any time, let's begin it. That how to make notes. You can also you can also write it in your notes separately. I think this will be very much helpful for you. So okay, without wasting any time, let's begin it. As I told you earlier that I have read this chapter almost two times, and this is gonna be my third reading after making the. This is gonna be my third reading. That's why I am making notes. So I will definitely suggest you to read this entire books minimum one times so that you can understand. Okay, so let's begin it. The revolt of 1857 was the most dramatic instance of the traditional Indian struggle against foreign rule, but it was no sudden occurrence. It was the culmination of the century-long tradition of fierce popular resistance to British domination. This line will be important in terms of to write main answer writing section to add in the conclusion or in the introduction. I will definitely add this point as point number one. Okay, 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 okay. These are not so much important as I have already read the lines. So as I know, there is another line which will be important. Inability of the Jamindars who lost thousands of their why Jamindars and polygars were angry towards the British because their main region is lost control over their land and its revenue either due to extinction of their rights by the colonial state or by the forced sale of their rights over the land because of their inability to meet the exorbitant land revenue demanded. So this can be another reason that why Jamindars and polygars are angry towards British. This can be added as second point. Okay. Peasants and artisans, as we have seen earlier, their own reasons to rise up. Here, this line will be very, very important. The economic decline of the peasantry was reflected in 12th major and numerous minor famines from 1770 to 1857. Just imagine, this was company rule. Company rule. Company means British East India Company. Before 1857, British East India Company was ruling in India. After 1857, British Parliament was ruling in India. So that's why during British rule, the taxation was very high. So that's why these kind of major famines and numerous minor famines happened during this timing, 1770 to 1857, almost 87 years. The new courts and legal system, administrative issues, the reason behind these rebellions, you can see reason behind this kind of major and minor famines. This can be added as administrative issues. So I will add as a third point, give a further fill up to the dispossessors and land and encourage the rich and to oppress the poor. Okay. So let's come to the next point which will be added. Okay. The ruin of Indian handicraft industries as a result of the imposition of free trade in India and levied discriminatory tariffs against British goods in Britain impoverished millions of artisans. The misery of the artisans were further compounded by the disappearance of the traditional patrons and buyers. Okay. This can be also important in terms of destruction of local industry. I will add this point in terms of. If you have any kind of idea, then you can also write in the comment box so that I can also develop my notes. Okay, this is gonna be fourth point. The scholarly and priestly classes are also active. So these are not so much important. Okay, let's come to the pen. This point may be important. From 1763 to 1856, there are more than 40 major rebellions, apart from hundreds of minor ones. Displaced peasants and mobilized soldiers of Bengal, led by religious, who Okay, let's mark it by another color, red. Displaced peasants, demobilized soldiers of Bengal, by religious monks, and dispossessed zamindars are the first to rise up in the sannyasi rebellions. So this is the first rebellion, very very important. I will add as a uh, fifth point. This gonna be very very important. I will definitely add. And this entire sannyasi rebellion is mentioned in the famous book by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in his novel Anandya Math, lasted from 1763 to 1800. This is the timing where this sannyasi rebellion happened. Okay, these are my section. There are numerous questions can be framed from this particular two or three lines. Who, by whom, displaced peasants, demobilized soldiers of Bengal, religious monks, and dispossessed zamindars. Sannyasi rebellion, timing, who wrote this, who wrote Ananda Math. This can be very much important. It was followed by there are also Tribal Uprising. This is also in five districts of Bengal and Bihar from 1766 to 1777. Then again in 1792. Okay. This entire line is too much important. Bihar. I have to write this entire paragraph in my notes because I can't left because all of these are very very important. By names can be important. Dinajpur, ki the places her rebellions are very much active. MCQ question can be framed. Any kind of state species or UPSC as well. So I'll add in seventh. Okay, South India. Wow. I think this entire paragraph is too much important because South India, the Raja, by name question can be framed. Question can be framed here by, I think, by name of leaders, places, and years. That during these years, which rebellions happened, or which part of India question can be framed. So I think this entire paragraph is too much important. I have to add this entire paragraph, whatever be. Okay. Ganjam in 1850, 1835, Konnur. Okay, these are very very important. Okay, this paragraph will be also counted. Yeah, this can be also important. Northern India was no less turbulent. The present states of Western UP and Haryana rose up in calms of 1824. Other major rebellions here, Bilaspur. These are very very important. They're not so much important, but yes, I think these will be important as well. I will add if you want. You can also add it. The almost continuous rebellions are massive in their totality, but okay, the almost continuous rebellions were massive in their totality, but were wholly local in the spread and isolated from each other. This can be one of the major reasons that they are limited towards their domain. So I think this can be one of the major reasons about the failure or why Britishers suppressed these rebellions so easily. So I will add this also in my notes, and this is gonna be my ninth point. You can also add it if you want. They are the result of local causes and grievance. Okay, let's go to the next chapter. Next paragraph. The suppression of the civil rebellions made a major reason why the revolt did not spread to South India. Okay, one of the major reasons why the rebellions did not spread to South India, most of Eastern and Western India, the revolt of 1857. This is highly important. I will definitely add as 10th point. The historical significance of this civil uprising lies in that they established strong and valuable local tradition of resistance to British rule. The Indian people were to draw inspiration from these traditions in their later nationalist struggle for freedom. The tribal people spread, okay, these are not so much important. The colonial administration ended their relative isolation and brought them fully within the ambit of colonialism. Okay, I don't think so. These are the lines which I should add in my notes. You can add. Colonialism also transformed their relationship with their forest. They had depended on the forest for food, fuel, and cattle feed. They practiced shifting cultivation oil. These are the way of tribals because they have huge connection with the forest. They have depended on the forest for food, cattle milk, and taking because of the fresh forest lands, the existing land showed sign of exhaustion. changed all this all. Yes. There is a famous habit that people were used to कि जिन काम में उसे मिलता था अगर उसे नहीं मिला उसको बस यही दिखाई देता है कि जो हमें मिलता था उस मिला तो नहीं बाद में जाकर तो नहीं मिल रहा है कुछ. That's why tribals became angry towards the Britishers. It's usurped the forest lands and placed restriction on access to forest products, forest land. Okay, they put restriction about the accessibility of forest products, forest lands, and village common lands. It refused to let cultivation shift to new areas. Oppression and extortion by policemen and other petty officials further aggravated distress among the tribals. That while they are angry, so because there are lots of economic issues, lots of their social issues are connected with the forest. So I'll definitely add as 11th point, and okay, this is 11th point. Okay, let me see. Yes, this is the 11th point. The revenue farmers and government agents also intensified and expanded the system of beggar. What is the meaning of beggar? Unpaid labor. This will be important as well. I will definitely add in my notes. 12th. All these differed in intensity from region to region, but the complete disruption of the old agrarian order of the tribal community and the colonial institution and the triumvirate of trader, moneylenders, and revenue farmers in some disrupted the tribal identity to a lesser or greater degree. Ethnic ties were a basic feature of the tribal rebellions. Ethnic ties. The rebels saw themselves not as a discrete class but having a tribal identity. This line can be very very important. I will add as well. So this one will be my 13th point. At this level, the solidarity shown was a very high order. Fellow tribals were never attacked unless they have collaborated with the enemy. So they have trust on their fellow rebels. Like yes. At the same time, not all outsiders who worked in the tribal village supported economic roles, social relations with the tribal such as Telis, Gwals, Lohars, carpenters, potters. The rebellion normally began at the point tribals felt so oppressed that they felt they had no alternative but to fight. They often took the form of spontaneous attacks on outsiders, looting their property and expelling them from the village. This led to clashes with the colonial authorities. Often religious and Christian leaders, they are also known as messiahs, emerged at the stage and promised divine intervention and to end on their sufferings. Okay, this is the also strategy to expand their religions towards the tribals to rise and rebel against the foreign authority. Most of these leaders claim they derive their authority from God. Hmm. Well, the major reasons of their failure, the totally unequal armed forces, one-sided drilled regiments armed with the latest weapons. This can be another important. I will add as a 14th point. Okay, there is a one more line. I have to add this. That how Christian missionaries tried to immerse their religious concepts towards the tribals. That's 15th point. I will add it also. Among the numerous tribal revolts, Santhalul. Okay, now the names of the tribal revolts, Santhalhuls or uprising was the most massive. The Santals who lived in the area of the Bhagalpur, probably Bihar, and Rajmahal and Damani Koho rose in the revolt. This entire paragraph will be very very important. I will definitely add in my notes. Determined attempt to expel the outside, the Dikhus. So in tribal language, the outsiders is known as the Dikhus and proclaimed the complete annihilation of the alien regime. Condition which drove them were described by the contemporary the Calcutta Review as follows: Zamindars, the police. Okay, these are not so much important. Morally corrupt, being given to beggary, stealing, lying, and drunkenness. Mazis and Parganites had begun to meet tribal heads. The Mazis and Parganites had begun to meet, discuss the possibility of revolting. Okay, wow. Bhagani Dijas and 6,000 Santals. The reason of truth, the Santals believed that their actions and the blessings of God. Faith. Sidhu and Kanu. Okay. So hence the important line say again began. The principal rebel leaders claimed that Thakur God had communicated with them and told them to take up arms and fight for independence. Sidhu told the authorities in a proclamation that Thakur has ordered me, saying that the country is not Sahib's. Sahibs mean the foreigners. The Thakur himself will fight, therefore you Sahibs and soldiers will fight the Thakur himself. So who are the principal labor leaders? This can be very very important. And as I will add this line as 17th. The leader mobilized the Santhals men and women by organizing huge processions through the village accompanied by drummers and other musicians. The leader rode at the head of horses and elephants and palkis. Soon nearly 60,000 Santhals had been mobilized, forming bands of 1,500 to 200. But rallying many of the thousands to the call of the drums on particular occasions, they attacked the Mahajans and Jamindars of their houses, police stations. The Santhal insurrections were held by a large number of non-tribal and poor Dikhus, Gwals, meaning milkmen, okay? These are the basic terms. Sometimes this can be asked in the state PCS as well. Okay, Lohars, blacksmiths accompanied the rebel bands. Okay, once the government realized the scale of the rebellion, it organized a military campaign against them. Okay, the rebels crushed ruthlessly. Okay, more than 50,000 Chantas were killed. Shidhar betrayed and captured, killed or Kanu were arrested. 15. And the Rajmahal hills were drenched with the blood of fighting. Santal peasantry, one typical instance of region Santal had been narrated by. Okay, so these are the description how they fought. Okay, I shall describe briefly three more major rebellions. Okay, there is another after the Santal, the Kols of Chotnagpur rebelled from 1820 to 1837. I will definitely add this line because this is highly important. 17th. Thousands of men were massacred before British authority could be reimposed. The hill tribesmen of Rampa in coastal Andhra revolted in March 1879 against the depredations of the British government supported Mansabdars. New restrictive forest regulations. These will be highly important. The rebellion Uluglan of the Munda tribesmen led by Birsa Munda occurred. The rebellion of the Munda tribesmen led by Birsa Munda occurred during 1899 to 1900 for over 30 years. The Munda herders had been struggling against the destruction of their system of common land holdings by the intrusion of Jagirdars, Thikadars. Okay, this can be important. The rebellion, which is also known as Ulugulan in terms of Munda tribesmen, and led by Birsa Munda, who is the leader. This is also important. I will add it as my 19th point in my notes. Birsa. Okay, there is detailed information. And thousands gathered around him, seeing in him a Messiah with a new religious message. Messiah, a divine messenger, possessing miraculous healing powers. Okay, Sardar's religious movement soon acquired an agrarian and political content, from village to village, organizing rallies and mobilizing. On Christmas Eve, Birsa proclaimed the rebellion, claimed Munda rule in the land, and with the killing of Thikadars, Jagirdars, Rajas, and Hakims, Hakims mean rulers, and Christians. Satyajug would be established in place of present Kalyu. He declared that there were going to be a fight with the Dikhuj, against this time Dikhuj. The ground would be red as the red flag with their blood. To bring about liberation, Birsa gathered a force of 6,000 Mundas, armed with swords, spears, battle axes, bows, and arrows. He was, however, captured in the beginning of the February 1900 and he died in jail in June. The rebellion had failed, but Birsa entered the realms of legend. Okay, so this is the end. I think there are various questions can be framed. Question can be framed in terms of there are many uh, tribal terms. These can be asked in the state PCS examination. Second point, all the tribal revolts, their region. The again this region suppression, their yes, putting restriction about forest rights and region and failure region. A region we can further divide the whole region in terms of political region, in terms of economy region. I can definitely add with uh, lack of unity, lack of arms and ammunition, etc. These can be an important points, I think. So I will add as well. Third point as well as the timing. This entire region from almost 1700 to 1857. Also the Munda, this is 1900, near about 1899. Anyway, this and there are various rebellions happens. And the fourth one is famine. This will be also important. I will definitely add these are important points from this particular chapter. So that's for today. If you can also add these points in your own notebook. I can share with you that this will be a very good strategy if you watch my videos and open your notebook and similarly just write it down as I am also writing in your notebook. So this will be very much helpful for you. So if you find helpful, then just give me a like and subscribe and put the notification the bell icon on so that you can get all the videos. So have a good day. I will try to upload the next videos about the next chapter. That's all, and many thanks towards all of you.